So I know I said I wouldn't have any more preview event videos, but I lied. I had a request for doing more of the character creator, so here's all of my footage on the character creator for Dragon Age the Veilguard. And if you are looking to pre-order Veilguard or purchase any of the Dragon Age games on the EA app, why not throw in the code Ghil during checkout? I'll get a small kickback from it, and while it is not a coupon code, you do get the peace of mind that a small percent of your money is going to help pay my rent and not another CEO's facelift. All right, so I'm trying to do this all in one take just to get this out as quick as I can. So the rules per EA is that for our event footage, if it's over 10 minutes, we have to provide a voiceover. Have people been doing that 100%? No, but I don't I do not have the funds not to get my ass slapped. So we're gonna follow the rules here, and just kind of I don't know, have it react while I look at my footage that I took during this thing. So this is me creating the first rook that we played, which is going to be a Qunari. And this is me going over the presets. I will say, like, the presets are kind of funny because there's multiple pages of presets. Like, there's 3 of them, or I guess 2 pages and plus 2. And I guess I feel like in other footage, you don't see people look at the presets. Like, it wasn't obvious that there was multiple pages, or maybe people just didn't care. I don't know. I just kind of go with one of them. Here we go for the lighting. Woo. Real quick, I want to take a little rant on the presets. This is something I'm going to have to test out when we actually have the character creator in front of us. But I think the presets actually matter more than people think. And I'm not quite sure how. When we get deeper in the character creator, particularly with the mouths, and let's actually talk about this real quick. There's not a lot of like mouth customization, and so I feel like the shape of the mouth is actually dependent on this screen a little bit. The lips particularly. I don't know how different the presets are, is what my thing is, but like I feel like a lot of the head can be edited later on, but some things like the shape of the lips really can't. Like, you're kind of stuck with that little like bowed lip. Or I guess I don't really know what the name of it's called, but you're kind of stuck with like variations of that lip shape. If you want something where it's like maybe a more smooth top or something, I don't know how you get that unless there's a preset for it and you can edit that. So when we go into character creator, when it's actually on launch, I'd be really curious to see what happens there. So now we're going into the facial complexions, and you can kind of see on a Qunari, these are all the facial complexions that you're able to choose from. There is a scar on the face, which you'll notice is static. It's kind of like this like right to left streak. Should I have taken that off for this section? Probably. I just didn't think about it. Yeah, I totally understand that, like, a lot of smooth head going on, and I think there are definitely things to like minimize the forehead situation. I guess where my complaint on the complexions is actually more that a lot of them look pretty young. Like, you have like this weathered, and there's a rugged or a rough, maybe I forget what it's called, that I actually end up using, and that does make your rook look a little bit younger. But I wish there was more, like, especially since I have an older Inquisitor. Like, the Inquisitor's aged 10 years. I went into the Inquisition going, I'm going to make a 40-year-old Inquisitor. Now she's 50. I don't know what mask, because the Inquisitor customization is the exact same as Rook's. I do not know what I'm going to pick for a 50-year-old on one of these. So here's different sliders for the forehead. A lot of this is like, you're not going to get a great shot of what all these sliders do right now, just because I had about 30-ish minutes. You can already see the runtime of the video is an hour. I did not know how much time I had. I did go back later and play with it, which is what the back half of this video is. But I was more focused on just like the front of the face on one view than kind of everything else. Yeah, and I just didn't care about like the head shape. I'm trying to think of like trying to jump back to the preset conversation. I also think skin tone might actually matter on the preset. Because you saw me playing with it earlier, and I noticed it was more obvious on like an elf when I was playing with the elf, and I do wonder, and I guess we'll rant more about that when we actually see the footage. But I darker skin tones are 100% possible in the character creator, but like I think there might be a starting point with the preset that you have to keep in mind. Is that going to be on launch? I don't know, because I did talk to EA or BioWare, I suppose, but like, hey, that isn't obvious when you're doing this, and I think it's not a good idea. But we'll see what launches. So I guess when I was creating this character, obviously this is well after everyone complaining about how weird and smooth Qunari's look. So while designing this Qunari, my idea was basically try to do my best for a Dragon Age 2 Qunari. And I am torn because you could probably do a pretty convincing Dragon Age 2 Qunari with some exceptions. Like the Dragon Age 2 face texture for a Qunari, especially like by the horns, is really like gnarled and grisly looking, and you just don't have that on here. Maybe you could add something in later, I don't know, but that is definitely not the case. But you could totally get the face shape for the most part, and I without looking at a photo, that was kind of what I was trying to do. At the same time, that is also a very masculine Qunari, and I just don't like playing guy characters, so I was like, whatever, I guess this girl's just gonna be kind of a masculine looking Qunari, but I want to make a woman. And then and I just kind of rolled with it, like whatever. She just kind of has a little bit of a masculine face because I'm kind of aiming for this one thing, but it's not that feminine. I don't really care. And then whenever I posted the results on Twitter, people were being really weird about it. Like, sorry. Whatever. I'm not going to say like this is like the best Qunari ever. I would definitely make changes, but kind of funny how her not being super traditionally feminine is getting me roasted in the comments. Anyway, so now we're getting the body sliders, and everyone's most hated thing, that the chest size and the glute size, which is the butt size, isn't as reactive as some people would like. I do think part of the reason why the chest and the butt size are locked down to a more average size, I would say, and even with like the body size, like the weight of the character, I think that actually has to do with how the armor's done. Because like later on, and like you can see it in other videos I posted on my YouTube channel of this particular Qunari, is that she has quite some hips on her when she actually has armor on. It's just like the naked body mod doesn't look very like hippie. So I feel like when you actually stretch the armors, it might actually give more chest and butt than this shows. And so I would be very curious to see if different armors actually give you like different chest and butt sizes. Like they're like not really even on purpose, and just more of a, that's just how it was coded in a weird way, and so that's what it is. Yeah, there's a lot of like, every character creator has its quirks, and this one definitely does too. And I'm so curious to actually like sink my teeth into this and really, well, I was going to say really sink my teeth into this and like figure out how the character creator like has its clunks and works, and so you can do weird things with it. And then my headphones died and like paused the recording, and so now I don't remember where I was going with any of that. Such is life. What am I going to do? I also got a soda. We are working with LaCroix Tangerine today. I feel like for these types of videos, it's now just like a tradition that I got to pull out a LaCroix on the recording just to, I don't know, show off that I like bubbly flavored water. I didn't really look through every single eyebrow because there's an absurd amount of eyebrows. Like what? This is over, 51 eyebrows. You got unibrows, you got scars to the eyebrows. I cannot be asked to talk about that many eyebrows, to be quite honest. So this is, let's talk about hair color. So this is me, or wait, no, this is the eyebrow and eyelash color. Okay. Well, when we get to the hair color, we'll talk about hair colors, because hair color in this game, I think, is a little bit funky. Also, a ton of eyelashes. They're like, I remember sitting here during the preview event, looking at all these eyelashes and go, I did not think there was this many type of eyelashes in this game. So I just picked some and moved on. But there is just so many. I think we already passed it, but there is a Scalera slider, and it's just like make the eyes a little bit more yellow, more pigmented, and it's not a black look. I know some people were hoping for that, but that is not in the preview event. Nose shapes. Hey, let's look at noses. This little Gith Yankee nose there. I think I end up going with 4. Yeah. Some good noses. I will say, like, you when you go through the sliders, and you can actually see this, or when you go through the nose presets, you can see the sliders change a little bit. So I don't know how important that actual nose slider is. The broken nose slider in Inquisition is now called crookedness, I think. Broken nose in Inquisition also like made it more bulbous. It was kind of very weird slider. That was one of the more questionable sliders in Inquisition, because it was, I don't know. I'm not an expert on broken noses, but I've never seen a broken nose look that bulbous and strange as the ones in Inquisition. I do like how this particular face mask makes the cheeks really like angular and sharp. I don't know, I think that's really compelling. Nose tips. The music during this section is also, I mean, it kind of mirrors like that of Inquisition and even Origins a little bit, where it's like little slivers of the in-game music that is really soft, just kind of like gently playing in the background. I feel like the little bum 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 bum, that's not quite the melody, but from like the Dread Coda song from the vinyl is in there every once in a while. Actually, I might have just heard it. Let's talk about the mouth. So there's a ton of sliders here to do stuff with the mouth, but you can change like the lip positions and whatnot, but you can't quite change the lip like shape, you know. and I think you can't, like, obviously you cannot change the teeth either. Which that's another thing I want to see if the presets have different teeth, because in Inquisition there was definitely different teeth for your Inquisitors depending on what preset head you chose. And I don't know if that's true with this game. And I don't know how you would figure it out either. Here, because like in Inquisition, you can make them talk whenever you wanted. And in this game, you can have them talk, but it's later down in the customization process. So I don't know if you can actually have a close-up of their teeth. So I feel like there's not really a way to see the teeth in them talking. So yeah, I will say on the mouth, why is the mouth so much more limited than it was in Inquisition? I feel like that's because there's something about the lip animations is what I want to say. So okay, BioWare's Frostbite games are single player. I'm not going to count Anthem because I don't really know Anthem that well, but Inquisition, Andromeda, is Andromeda Frostbite? Now that I say that, I'm pretty sure Andromeda's Frostbite. I'm going to assume it is. I'm not a big Mass Effect one. Oh, here we go for the Qunari hairs, by the way. I'm not going to... Okay. We'll talk the mouse in a second. I'll have time. Qunari hairs. So the Qunari hairs are different from the regular hairs. There is less of them, as per normal. I will say they try to get the basics there. Like, they still have a lot of the same ones. Like, there's not... I feel like in Inquisition, the Qunari had kind of like their own unique 3 bad hairstyles, and that was that. Whereas these hairs kind of feel more inspired than the main hairs, just ones that work better with Qunari. And like this is the long hair option on the Qunari. I think do I zoom out? I don't remember if I do or not. And it goes pretty long, but if you'll notice that on this hair, minus unlike the other one. For the other races, the sides are shaved a bit, which I thought was interesting. And then they all kind of have that, where like the sides are either shaved or pulled back in some way for it to, I guess, work with the horns. I'm a little unsure. Oh, I guess that, well, that one does it, but also does, because it has like the back pulled up. I feel like that hair would be a lot cuter if it wasn't like bald on the back and it had like some stubble. Now, I know a lot of people want to put hair in the front of the forehead, and I think that's a wonderful idea, but there's only like 2 or 3. I end up going with this one because it kind of looks more like the photo, or not even the photo, but the vibe I wanted. So this is me trying to get white hair. Let's talk about hair color. So hair color in this game is a little bit funky because like in the sliding, it looks maybe a little bit yellow, but it is white hair for the most part. When you see her in other cutscenes, it doesn't quite look like that. It looks a little bit gray or sometimes blue, and it really adopts the lighting of wherever we are. And I think that's true of every single hair color. And just like the way the lighting of the game works makes the hair kind of reactive to that. Not in a way that I thought was like it's a bug or is game breaking, but it is... I think that's why when we see clips of Varric in the prologue, everyone's asking, why does he have black hair? Well, he doesn't. He just has that a hair color. The hair tints just kind of work funky in that lighting. So I don't think Varric has black hair. I don't think a lot of the other NPCs, or does the hair color funky. No, I just think that it's just something with the way the game is made. And I didn't think it was that bad, but maybe that is probably going to annoy some people. The horns. Okay, I don't do a great job at looking at the horns, to be honest. You'll kind of see there's a pattern here. There's like a first set where they're kind of like in rows. There's like the first set where like this is the basic horn shape. The next one, here's the horn shape that's broken. The next one, here's the horn shape with some like gold on it. And the next one is here's that horn shape where it's broken off, but there's like a gemmed horn in the place. And they kind of go into rows like that. And there's a lot of different options. You'll see later that the metal can be changed in its color, and then if you have like that little gem piece, that can also be changed to different gem colors. There's basically one of every color. You can also change the horn color. There's like a couple different variations of that. The actual horn color only comes in like, I want to say neutral tones. You can't have like bright pink horns, unless you mod, I suppose. But I was actually very pleased with the horns. While I am a little bit not amazed at the hairs. I mean, compared to Inquisition, if you had 4 hairs for Qunari, you're doing better than Inquisition. So there is that. I just wish there was a wider variety of Qunari hair. But I think the horns are really good. I know people want the Aeroshock horns, and why it's not 1-to-1, there was one in there that looked kind of Aeroshock-ish. Enough to, I think, like the big and then to the back. So I think that's there. I end up going with this purple tanzanite, I believe. But they all look really pretty. I'm pleased with the color selection. A+ on the horns. I'm desperately trying to remember what I was talking about before was it mouse shape animation? I think it was mouse shape animation. We're going to makeup. I do a crap job on the makeup. We're going to go back to it. Don't worry about it. Okay, mouth animation. So, Inquisition did mouth one way. And if you remember, at least Inquisition, the kissing animations were very zoomed out and not focused on the face for the most part. You had a couple, with probably one of the most iconic kisses at the end. If you're playing a Solus romance, and Solus leans into the Inquisitor to give her a kiss, she does like this terrible like kissy face, and it doesn't look good. The kiss and lips animation in Inquisition are really lackluster. So then we jump to Andromeda. And with Andromeda, if you remember the customization, a face customization of Andromeda, it was actually kind of bad. It was very lackluster. I remember booting up Andromeda on launch night and being very disappointed in the character creator, because you basically just had like 5 faces that you could edit from, and you could move the mouth up and down, and that was it. You were done. However, and I know a lot of people are going to say bad things about Andromeda's facial animations, and I get that because they were not implemented. The technology was there. If you ever go and look up very specifically Korra's romance, the kissing animation and the sex scene with her is nuts. It's absolutely wild. It is probably the lewdest sex scene BioWare has ever done, easily. And I think that whatever facial animation that Veilguard is using is the same as Andromeda's, or at least like built upon that. And that's why the mouth is so limited, because the mouth needs to be a part of this animation rig. And I think that like having too much of a wildly different mouth shapes probably hinders that. And that's my assumption on what's going on. I don't actually know. And yeah, I don't know. I will say that if your Inquisitor has a very iconic mouth shape, very particularly, there was one head shape that had like kind of like bigger teeth and made the Inquisitor almost like mouse-like, I'm going to say, in like a very kind way, kind of like a buck teeth. You are not going to really be able to do that in Veilguard, and you're going to be you're going to have a hard time trying to recreate your Inquisitor in this game. That's probably like the one feature of the face that I don't know if you could do. There's a bunch of other features you can do and a whole bunch of other things, but irregular mouths is going to be challenging. Let's go to tattoos. So tattoo designs. I really like how they do tattoos in this game, where you have like this heavily tattooed whatever, and you can like slide different parts on and off depending on if you like it or not. I guess my only like complaint, if I could even call it that, is I mean, it is a complaint. I wish you could make him like two-toned a little bit. So like maybe on this one is the Grey Warden one. So like the Griffin can be like a white and the rest of the details can be black, or like something like that. Because, you know, in the real world, like there are definitely people that do like all black tattoos, and that's one thing. But, you know, if I want like a colored tattoo or something like that, like you can't do that here. And that kind of stinks. I mean, like, is it the end of the world? No. But that would be a really cool feature to have, and something to build upon perhaps in the next iteration of Dragon Age. Hopefully we have one. Yeah, someone did ask me, like, what are the different factions for these tattoos? And, like, I could give guesses, but honestly, I'm not quite sure on some of them. Like, some, like, obviously... The Griffin one is for Grey Wardens probably, and there's one with the skull you could say is the more Tallatassi, but also the Morn Watchers. But I don't know, this one looks kind of Dwarven to me. I'm throwing it on her because I just think it's neat. And then like you can see me turn it around because like, oh, there's a back design and it's like this tramp stamp. I'm like, oh no, we are getting that off. Lower back tattoos, I can't handle them. I'm so sorry if you have one. I just don't want them on my girl. But yeah, I think I just ended up going red. Yeah, who cared? Red. Which, yeah, I don't know why. I should have done like a purple because the horn was purple. Why did I choose red? Yeah, here we go. All right, that's the final appearance. So I'm largely going to cut out the next like faction bit. Here's like, you can hear what I mean about like, especially on the warrior hips, like for some reason the hips look much more hippie on the warrior armor than like the others is what I mean to say. Like I feel like she has quite a curvaceous figure on the warrior compared to like the mage or the rogue. But yeah, I largely skipped the factions because that's what my giant actually good video was about. I do think these animations showing like what the abilities do is kind of neat. Anyway, moving on. So right now, this looks very similar. What is this? This is actually the Mirror of Transformation customization and what you can do. This is me going in right after the prologue and editing the scar because I forgot. For some reason I skipped paints and I skipped scars and I don't know why. So this is me going back into that and looking at it. I don't give like a great look, to be honest, because I wanted to get on with my life. I ended up liking this radial one. But yeah, I just wanted to give like a little look of like, what does the Mirror of Transformation do and what can you edit? For the most part, you can edit basically everything, including, you'll see me later actually edit my name. The only thing I think you cannot change on your person is your gender, your pronouns, and your class. Like if you're a warrior, you have to stay a warrior. And if you are you can't change your background, is what I mean to say. Yeah. I did have someone ask me, can you have top surgery scars if you have like actual boobs? Like they like but you have the breast slider all the way out? You can. I'm just wearing a little bra, so you can't see it. All right, and that's me saying yes to all of it. There we go, and here's me changing the name. Oh, you can also change the voice and the pitch if you don't like it, by the way. I just go through it. I will say when I was doing the random names there, it was in the same order as when I randomized it earlier. I don't know if that's always going to be the case where the randomized names are always in the same order. Like that feels like a glitch, not a purpose thing. All right, so what is this? What is the rest of the video? This is me going back and playing with the different sections I didn't do great on earlier that I knew I wasn't doing great on earlier. You know what I mean? So at the very end of the preview event, I chose to opt out on doing the very last section. So there's 5 sections. I'm trying to make this no spoilers, so I'm not going to say what the section was. If you are keeping up with the news, though, you know what it was. It was like the big thing. And I chose not to do that and instead just go for more character creator. My goal was to really go through with a fine-tooth comb and get as much as I wanted, but it quickly became, I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, there's so much I want to look at, and I just kept forgetting, and then I started stressing myself out. So there's like a bunch of things I didn't even look at, and I'm very frustrated with myself about it, which I think also why this character creator video is like last, because like I really wanted to go like look at 100 different things, and like as soon as they were, because I honestly didn't have that much time. I think this recording is like only like 30 minutes, so I only had like 30 minutes to do everything that I wanted to do. So I'm sitting there like, oh man. Oh god. You also see some long pauses. Okay, actually a funny one right here. There's a long pause because I was looking at the Dwarf preset, and this guy passes behind me and he points to the second preset and he's like, hey, it's me. And it was, I do not know who he was. He was very nice about it. He had like some joke of like, hey, you can't make me in a video game. And he was like, hey, that's my likeness or something like that. No idea who he was. But God bless him. So this is in real life. I am paused having a conversation with this guy about how the second preset looks like this dude. And I think there was a couple other times in this recording that, because a lot of people were kind of finishing up and doing other things or walking around. This is the very end of the day. We're all kind of tired. We're talking to each other. So there's some long pauses here that I apologize. It was long enough. I went ahead and just cut like 5 minutes of just being on a still screen. I couldn't handle it. All right. So we're back. This is me going through more of like the scars, I think. But yeah, this is a dwarf man. I did have a lot of people request dwarf female. Sorry, I didn't think about it. Apparently not a lot of people did dwarf female body types. That I'm deeply sorry. Yeah, this is what I mean where I miss stuff. Like I go through makeup decently later. I go through the hairs decently later. And I say kind of because like I decided to choose like a dark hair on like a dark background. It didn't go over well. It went okay. I don't know. Yeah, I decided to give him a lot of pecs. He just this guy's getting muscled out. This is a tough little guy. Yeah, facial hair. Do I do different facial hairs? I think I do. Hairstyle. Here we go. Oh yeah, this is the first time I'm actually seeing the other hairs because as I had played Qunari, I didn't know all this stuff was in there. So I'm just poking around at all the different hairs. Here we go. I will say, like, a couple of these hairs have, like, ornaments on them. So, like, you get... By the way, that one with the bald one, that is the worst hair. Why is that a hair? That's the meme hair. That's the hair Monster Factory's gonna choose. But there's some, like... And I think this is true with the beards, too. I'm not positive on the beards. But definitely the... Oh, here's me testing the hair physics. Look at that man go. Look at those beautiful locks. Look how beautiful and luscious this is. Absolutely gorgeous. Here we go. Whew. This is also me trying to break it. Just going absolutely nuts and seeing how bad it would glitch into phase. I actually think it did pretty well. I think it looks nice. Anyway, ornaments in the hair and the beard. I don't believe you can change the color of the metal. None of, at least for me, none of the ornaments in the hair I thought were offensive enough to like get angry at. But I can also see that being a very common mod where maybe you want gold rings on your beard rather than silver or something like that. Me trying to look at the chest top surgery scars, but the tits are too massive. I don't think you can see them very well. Going back through scars. There's a bunch of different scar settings, and like I will say with the scars, they're interesting in that like half of them look like functional scars, I would say, but then the other half also look very decorative. One of my favorite scars will be coming up here in a second. It looks like suckers. It's very interesting. I love this hairstyle, and I wish there was like a straight hair version of it with like the half braided to it. I just think that's beautiful. There's a lot of cool hairstyles in here. I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to pick for my rook, although I know myself, and it's just going to be some bob hair. The first time in our lives we can have long hair, and I just like am probably going to choose a bob. That's how I live my life IRL. I can't fathom my rook doing anything else. Oh boy. I love the curl. Okay, so right now you see two different curls, and they look practically the same. The same thing, there's like a very long hair option where it has two hairstyles right next to each other that are basically the same. We'll see this a bit later where I actually go a little bit more depth into the sliders or the hairstyles when I look at the elf. But they're not quite the same. They have the same function, but they're a lot shorter. You can see there it's a shoulder length hair. Also me trying to break the like what is when I go through the ringer, what does this hairstyle look like? But yeah, I forget which comes first, but usually it's the first one, I think, is the shorter one where it kind of goes down to the mid back, and then the second one goes down to the waist. And it's quite long, and that happens in both the curly and the straight option. So yeah, you can see here there's a lot of like different body scars you can choose. I did not really play with the body scars as much, but like some of them look very decorative. Like there's one right there that looks like a skeleton on your torso. That is very decorative. But there are some that look like lightning strikes or variations of like scars and stuff like that. Or scars, duh. But like I meant like you're getting hurt scar, not like I want to look like a cool snake man scar. Different colors too. It's pretty nuts how deep you can go with some of this stuff. I guess that's the weird thing about this character creator. Like you can do a ton of things with it. You can edit so much, but then it's also very limited on like a couple other things. Here's the tattoos. For Dwarf, I'm not seeing one that's immediately a castless mark. I think there is one, I already forget what number it is, but there is one where you can get something close enough and kind of get there if you really want to make a castless rook. But like the tried and true ye old castless mark, I did not see one. Now I'm sure day one, not even day one, but at one point when we figure out modding for this game, if you're playing on PC, a castless mark would be so easy to put in. But I know not everyone plays on PC, and console is a very big market. So I think you get something that's close enough, but like at least on launch through this demo, maybe they add it later. Which yeah, if you do want to add it in later, start making a big fuss about it, because this is the time when they might actually change it. Now we're going through tattoos. I decided to change tattoos with a different person who isn't has a beard on their face. Going on with my headphones? Sorry, my headphones keep cutting in and out, and I'm very perplexed by it. The batteries are charged. The recording's still going on. You're just all hearing me talk about my headphones now for no reason. Normally I would have something more prepared for a recording like this, but I have really nothing much to say. I just have to start talking for about an hour, and honestly, this video is probably best watched on mute and not listening to what I say, because I'm probably not saying anything interesting. So hey, if you're listening, if you're 35 minutes deep into me talking to a mic, not doing anything, you're one of the real ones. You know, you must really like my content, or you really don't now. I don't know. I just have to keep talking. Why aren't you connecting back? Why are you like this? Are my headphones dying? They're not even that old. Why isn't this working? We're just... I just can't hear the video, I guess. We're just gonna live with that, because I don't know what else to do. Alright, we're back with the elf. Tattoos, you can slide in and out the different sections. It's neat. Now, I don't know why I don't look at... Okay, I do know why. So, in this compilation, you did not hear... or not hear. You did not... I can't hear. You can hear. You did not see any of the elven tattoos. But I did earlier because I went through them when I was doing the Inquisitor customization. And me being stupid and stressed out, because this event stressed me out. That's a whole other story. But I forgot that we can't show the Inquisitor. So I have this whole section where I'm going through and looking at all the Valisline and oh look, you can slide this in and out. Isn't that neat? And I can't even show it. So I didn't even think about redoing it later. I don't know why. Like if you asked me at the event, hey, can you show anything about the Inquisitor? I would have said no. And I said, hey, did you record the tattoos? Yeah, I did it when I was looking at the Inquisitor. I'm stupid. This is another reason, like, I don't know, I'm kind of like a little bit embarrassed about my coverage of the character creator because like I had so many good ideas that I wanted to do and I just did not do it good enough. I think where I had another chance at this, if there's whatever gods there may be, if I'm able to go to a Dragon Age 5 event that's just like this, I'm gonna roll in with like an insane amount of details, and I want to have like listed out on a physical list because I just do better with checklists. Trying to keep it up in my head like I did. Bad idea. Terrible idea. Should never do that. Awful. I do a better job at going through the hairs. This is me just messing with it. It's when I change the hair color that I love this one, by the way. This one might be the bob I end up choosing. Maybe the curly version. I don't know. Side note. Not side note. Whatever. Now I'm just gonna rant about like why the event stressed me out. For no reason. But events, okay, so during the council during council stuff, when we met in person, it was only like a handful of times. I was okay. Both times I was weirdly like sick. Not even in like I have a cold. I was just having strange and bizarre medical issues. But I don't even think they knew about it because I was keeping it to myself for the most part. So like there was this air of I don't even care. I'm just glad I can go. And yeah, there was an air of that. And then also like I had been talking with these people and so I was friends with them. And like I just do a lot better in groups of people that are smaller because we were a smaller group. I think there was like only 12 or 13 of us. I can't remember. Yeah, there was a smaller group and I had talked with everyone before and like I was super nervous to talk to devs, but we didn't really talk with them much. I was mostly just, shooting the crap with Kayla or Bria or some other people on the council. And that was fine. It was great. Loved it. And then we go to this event and there's like so there was 2 days. And so, like, I guess in my experience, there was a mixer on the first night with, like, 100+ people, because that was both days put together. And that was, like, a huge party, and there's alcohol, and people are talking, and, like, I don't know what I'm doing with myself. I don't go to parties. I didn't go to college parties. I was a loser. I don't really drink, because I'm very sensitive to bitter tastes, and so alcohol tastes gross. Whatever. Then we actually went to the event and there's like at least 70 people there plus the people running it. There's probably close to 100 people in the room. And like a lot of these people already know each other from like other events like this. And even if people know who Ghil or Thalin is, they obviously don't recognize me physically. So like there was people there that I recognized, but I know they don't know me. And so that was very strange to go up to you and like, hey, give me like 5 minutes to introduce myself and then you will understand who I am and we can have a conversation and like, you know who I am. And I just felt very uncomfortable doing that. And so like I was just very like uncomfortable and nervous the entire time. But playing a cool game, I don't know. I'm very blessed to have these experiences, but then I remember that like, oh right, a lot of these people are streamers and have very outgoing personalities, and I'm the person that largely does cut content and edited content on YouTube. That way I can like put all the pieces together and pretend that I have an extroverted personality when really I'm just a lot more comfortable talking to a mic alone in my room with my family asleep like I'm doing now. Yeah, anyway, that's my fun stories from the events. And we're still on the hair. There's really not much to say on the hair. Everyone's seen the hair. There's only like, hey, which we should all be proud of BioWare. They only have 3 flavors of bald. Maybe 4 if you count the balding one near at the bottom. This one I think looks stupid though. I'll be honest. I don't like that one. This one's cute. I think, okay. This is, I think, going to be like the okay, let's talk about Inquisition Legacy haircuts. I think for the most part, this is what I mean by the waist-long curly hair, by the way. For Inquisition, they do not have a one-to-one on like the Inquisitor's haircuts, but I do think there are some close enough ones. And I think number 9 that we just saw is definitely like the one of the most popular hairstyles because it was the closest bob option that didn't look that bad, was like this half shaved with a braid on it. Like that's the one I used. So I think that's going to be like the legacy one for that. And there was like a really weird mullet one, if anyone remembers that I think there's one later down that I think is pretty similar to that. I think I'm talking to someone here. I think this one here. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can cut this, make it a little bit shorter. All right, I'm back. It was only like 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, the hair clipping out on the ear. That's just kind of gonna be a thing we're gonna have to deal with, I think, especially if you have like elf ears that really poke out. For the most part, so the hair, I think, has like a state that it tries to naturally go back to and flow back to, and that's kind of the sense I got for the hairstyle. But sometimes, yeah, that can clip in with your ears. I didn't really notice it on horns. I guess it might depend on what horn you choose, and maybe that's why the Qunari hair is more limited. But I would be really interested to see how bad the clipping is with the hair. I guess the problem is like hair clipping through armor doesn't really bother me as much as some people. Because I'm also used to the Inquisition clipping. Does anyone remember the Inquisition mods clipping through armor? I do. God do I. So, yeah. I think your mileage may vary on some of the clipping issues. Because like I think with like some of the hairs, the ears clipping through the hair can just be read as like ears in the hair rather than clipping through the hair, and I think you're just going to have to kind of get a feel for that. And if you are someone that's going to bother, you are going to have to pick what hair you want first, and then go back and edit your ears. Or you can even, like, if you make a head you love, you find a hair you love and go, the ears aren't quite right, you go back and tweak it. So yeah. I love 39. 39 just calls to me. I might end up picking 39. I am curious what's going to be the hairstyle that we all end up picking. Like I was saying earlier, there was like the shave side with a braid hairstyle. I feel like I saw everyone pick. It was like that, and there was like a braided updo thing that everyone had. Do I? No, I don't pause here. Okay. I'm paranoid of pausing because this is definitely like me talking with everybody else. But yeah, I wonder what like the hair is going to be. What's going to be the most popular hair? Kind of at a guess. I think it's going to be 51 maybe, if I'm getting the number right. There's like this long hairstyle with some like bangs that I feel like are really popular right now. And that one might get a lot of mileage. I can also see like the super long styles, particularly the curly one, being really popular, especially with like Chapel Roan being really like popular right now, and she kind of has like that curly massive hair in some of her album artwork. I'm not even a Chapel Roan girly. Like, she's fine. I just, that's not like a music style I enjoy. But like I just see it everywhere. It's all over Twitter. Like, my God, Twitter, can you stop telling me about Chapel Roan and Sabrina Carpenter? I don't care. But small cut because there was quite a bit of dead time. I don't remember what I was doing. Such is life. This one, I think this one is going to be insanely popular. I don't know what type of hair that's called, but 51 I think is going to be pretty popular with the ladies, at least. Dragon Age is so funny because there is definitely like a fandom perspective of like, these are the features and the choices and the romances that are perceived to be the most popular, because that's what like the most active fans are doing. That's what the artists are making, and like what those choices are. And then there's like the statistics that BioWare gets back, where it's just like your average dude bro who just likes playing games walked into a GameStop and said, well, damn, I love dragons, I'm gonna pick that up today, and like goes back onto his big rig and drives home, rolls a human warrior, and romances whatever the first girl option is, which is going to be Harding in this one, is my assumption. Mark my words, human warrior romancing Harding is going to be the most popular Veilguard option by statistics. Will it be the fandom's favorite? Probably not. But that is going to be the most popular. It always is. Like, Cassandra was the most romance inquisition person, despite like there was like one artist I remember finding that was like really into the Cassandra romance, and I think I've seen none since. The most I hear about Cassandra romance is people wishing they could romance her as a woman. Like, I very rarely see Cassandra romance with a guy, despite being that most popular. I really do think the fandom kind of underestimates how much like we are not the largest portion in reality. Like, we are the ones that buy. Okay, we probably make up most of the sales of the extra material, but of the game itself, we are not the maximum. So I do think a lot of maybe the more, what we consider the more confusing marketing choices are because of them and not because of us. So yeah. Right now, I'm leaving it in just so you kind of get a sense of it, but right now you should largely ignore what I'm doing right here, because there's actually a third bit to the makeup that I have not seen and go back and edit. So there are 3 different bits to the makeup. You can see it in blue, you see it in green, and later on I'm going to put it in red. And the red is kind of like an eyeliner. The blue is, for the most part, it kind of varies, but like is like what's under the eyebrow, and like right there you can see a little bit under. And then the green ends up kind of being like the eyelid itself. It kind of changes. It depends. I will also say, like, I feel like there might have been a bugged bit here. Later on when I'm going through the makeup again with the eyeliner, one of the makeup presets looked like there was like, I'll try to call it the number when I pull up again, but one of the presets looked like it had like almost electric lines coming out from the face, but I just didn't see that reflected on the character, despite having like these wildly obvious colors. So I don't know if that was like the skin tone is not registering on, because maybe it was too light. I don't know. I haven't even talked about the glitter system. The glitter system scares and confuses me. It's definitely workable. Like, it's not like it's bad choice or anything, but I'm not quite sure how it works, and I feel like the best way to understand how it works is going to be sitting there playing with the lighting, and that was just not something I wanted to do at the time of recording this. So I think I think this is me going back with the red now. It's been a minute. Yeah, what was the one with like the lightning on it? Yeah, okay, yeah, there's the red. Some of these I feel like the red is a lot more subtle and I can't make it out. And then there's like the clown makeup where it's like very obvious. Like these past couple ones, where is the red? I do not see it. So I don't know if that was glitched out or it just is extremely subtle. Blah blah blah. Actually, is it 19 that has the? I think it's 19 that might have the snaky bits on the eyes. That's hard to see. I don't know. I don't really do makeup, so like I can't really tell you if you're gonna be happy with this, but like I think there's at least the 36 variations of how to do your makeup, but I feel like you could probably pull something out of that. So including number 12 is gonna be like quite a clown makeup extravaganza, I feel like. Here's me messing with the blushes. Bunch of look, I'm going to be the first person to say I don't understand blush, but like the amount of blush colors you can pick just astounds me. I'm putting on something extremely obvious, so it's easy to tell what you can see. I like the nose blushes. I think that's pretty cute. I'm glad they have that. Like at number 5, I just think looks real cute. I don't know why. You could also put glitter on the which I guess they do have glitter blushes. Isn't that just... No, what's it called? It's not bronzer. God. What is it? It's not contour. Highlights? Highlighter. Highlighter. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it kind of looks like highlighter. Yeah, I wonder if, like... Could you make this a highlighter? I don't know. I don't know. Makeup is a world completely beyond me. I dress in Walmart's finest, and I don't know what to call it. I put on like a little bit of like lip color. If I have a blemish, I put on some concealer, and we go on our merry way. Lips. This is also me putting on some very garish lip colors, just so you can see the differences. I think I ended up doing green and blue or something like that. I will say, like, the color, which now I'm thinking, oh, green and blue. I don't know if that's, if you're colorblind, that might be a very bad pick. I apologize. The lips, I think, are pretty good, but I feel like the color isn't always as bright as it could be. Now, granted, you probably don't want a really bright lip, so unless you're making a clown character, you're probably doing okay. I think I tried to do red again. Yeah, there you go. Putting the glitter off so you can see better. And really shiny. I'm a sucker for number 7, the line through the lip. Or maybe 8, because the top is colored too. I was a small child when Princess Amidala was marketed heavily towards me, someone who does not like Star Wars, and that has stayed with me for a long time, I suppose. I kind of wish they had like an overlined lip, because that's kind of fun to do, I think. Not like on makeup, but like in a character creator. These are the makeup presets. I think they're okay presets. I'm not really mad at any of them. They're pretty, like, you got your gothic, you got your like normal makeup, you got your cutesy makeup. They're cute. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't pick any of the paint sliders. Infuriates me. I think I actually take a decent look. Oh yeah, this is me looking at the actual scars. So yeah, the scars on this one, they have like real scars. Like that looks like a real scar that you got from like a battle wound. And like some on the neck, and like there's obviously there. But yeah, a lot of them are like decorative, and I don't know if I really like the decorative ones that much. Like some of them are cool, like don't get me wrong. That was the one that was on the Qunari base to begin with, like a burn mark. That's cool. What is that? What is this? What's going on here? Like there's some crazy stuff going on. This one I actually quite liked. It's like a tentacle scar. That one's cool. That one's creative. I love this one. You can see me admiring it. Because I don't really like the decorative scarification. Like, it's cool to have a couple. I'm not like, I totally get it. that one I can kind of see. Like, you get slapped with a bunch of those magic triangles if you're a veiled jumper. But, like, I don't know. Like, I kind of wish there was more scars that were functional scars. I don't know how to describe it. That looks like Scout Harding's scar. I'm thinking about it. Like, at least on my Inquisitor, the Inquisition did... Okay. Inquisition did scars in, like, a really weird way. So I totally get they don't want to do that again because I wasn't a big fan of how they did that. But, like, my Inquisitor has a very light scar on her forehead that, like, I just can't... There just isn't one. You know what I mean? It just doesn't exist on this. And, it kind of stinks that that's the case. And, like, you could probably mod it in. Like, I'm sure someone's going to have an Inquisition Legacy scar slider thing going on here. But, yeah. I do wonder how people are going to handle the Inquisition or Inquisitor creator and, like, what it does to like I'm wording this terribly. How are people going to make their Inquisitors in this character creator? Because there are a lot of differences. And enough that I think it's going to be a challenge for some people whose main Inquisitor features basically had to do with scars and mouths because they're going to be different. Also, some paint on the face. I haven't looked at the paint on for myself, so maybe they do have some legacy paints that you can put on your face. But if they don't, then yeah, if you have your Inquisitor has like some face paints or some tattoos, even there was a couple pretty popular tattoos in Inquisition that just aren't on here. So, hey, congratulations on your Inquisitor getting your tattoo removed. I'm sure Dorian helped you out with that. I know the obvious joke was Solus, but, like, that was only with the Lavalin. But, like, I'm sure Tevinter has some sort of tattoo removal. Yeah. I think for the most part that... Oh, that's me going through the complexions again. Oh, no, okay, here's me talking about the skin tones. Okay, skin tones... I'm going through all the darkest options, and you can't make her very dark. And so you're sitting here going, oh god, can I not have a really dark-skinned elf? You can. Just not with this preset. I don't have it on here, because I didn't look at it, because you can tell the video's almost over, we're running out of time. But, if you look through the presets of the elf, there are elves with dark skin. There's at least one with, like, very dark skin tone that's darker than this. It is possible. There's just something with the preset that makes it funky. So I feel like if you're not getting the skin tone you want, definitely change your preset. And I know, oh, but I don't want that head. You can change the heads in the little triangle menu. You can easily do that. You're not stuck with the heads. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would worry more about the skin tone you want. Yeah, so I think for the most part the video is almost over, so thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me ramble on too much, and I hope this is informative, and sorry I had to talk through this entire thing. Oh, I probably need to cut out the titties, huh? Okay, there's probably a weird censor bar in the titties now. Anyway, goodbye everybody!